Okay, this is about peer reviews, and as far as I can tell, unless I'm missing something, then it seems to be, and this is a bit of a mess. Don't want to be offensive or anything, but as far as I can tell, this has not been properly thought through and doesn't really work. Like I said, unless I'm missing something, which is always possible. So let me show you. So we've set up this assignment, and in it we've set it to be peer reviewed.
Mike, will we have the meeting tomorrow? The office?
And so in here, click on more options, and we have required peer reviews, automatically assign peer reviews, and it automatically set the date to the same as the due date. An issue with that is I've noticed that if a student submits their normal assignment a day late, it doesn't assign peer reviews. So I tested it out on a student, and so I had to manually assign peer reviews to that person. So that one is a bit strange as well, because there'll always be late students, and a teacher can't have to be going and thinking about that all the time, or else there's no real point to having an automatic peer review system if so many of it is not automatically reviewed. I'm not quite sure the solution to that, but that alone would stop me wanting to use it. But that's not the biggest problem. The rest of the problem is it just doesn't seem to work. So so I'm going to bring in a student account. So on that assignment, I'm logged in now as a student, so I happen to have access to this account, Thomas Griffiths. Oops, wish I would do that in Windows 7. So let's go to my courses, and here's the first issue that they might get an email about it. I haven't seen that, but there's nothing in a to-do list or anything about the peer reviews. So for a student who has to know this, and I think this is not a good idea because it's going to be hard for them to remember it, but they've got to click back on the assignment, and then it shows them the assigned peer reviews. So let me go into one, and I managed to get it just about to get it clicked on that, but it had to finagle it. So let me click on the one that hasn't been done. And this part of it, okay, this part of it makes some sense. It tells me more or less, as long as I'm reading right. That's not very pretty, but so I'm going to look at the document, and then it's going to use the rubric and make a comment. Okay, I can make a comment. I mean, that box is just very small as well. That really needs to be bigger, or at least stretchable or something. That's not a. I mean, if you're going to do a real big comment, that's good for a one-liner, but it's no good for proper peer review comment. And then the other thing is the the rubric. This screen here is the same screen that comes up if you're going onto an assignment for a student, either through the grade book or from when you're on the students page of all their grades, and it brings you up this page with this rubric button. And here's what happens: you can get on it, you can click on it, but it has never ever worked to do this. I've never been able to grade an assignment on this page, and it's the same page as, like I said, is used. So the peer review page doesn't work because I can't actually save the reviewing I'm doing. So I have to exit out of it. Test comment. Please ignore. Go back to the assignment. So now, and this not telling me it's done, but hopefully if I refresh, it's going to tell me it's done. Does it? No. See, it still tells me it's not done, and I think that's because of the issue of the peer review, because it's got a comment. Funnily enough, when I did it last time on the other student, it looked like doing this like that somehow refreshed it. No, I don't even know how I got it to do the check mark, because it's not doing it for this one. And it's not even showing my other test. This test comment, please ignore. That's interesting. Let's do another one, another test comment. Okay, so there's these problems. So I can't actually see how we can actually get it working. Oh, that's interesting. And now this one has gone to not reviewed again. Oh dear, what's going on? The other problem is this rubric. This rubric is not for the peer review. This rubric is the rubric for the assignment, which means that whatever rubric we put in for the teacher to grade the assignment by is the same rubric that the student sees to do the peer review. Well, as you can see here, there's a problem, because in the rubric for the teacher that's where they're assigning them points for having done the peer review. So here it says, this is the rubric for the essay itself, and I don't know, this is a bad rubric. It needs to be broken out, and they're working on that in this class. But part of the rubric is students doing the peer review and getting points for it, which is a bit of a paradox, because the students see that same rubric for their peer review. I don't understand why anybody would have thought of having the same rubric for the teacher as for the students for the peer review. There needs to be a place to create a completely separate rubric that the students will use for their peer review. Anyway, so those are the several issues we're having in relation to the peer review. The first one is from the student perspective. If I'm on my home, I can't see that there's anywhere telling me that I have to do a peer review. No, nothing. There might be an email, not sure, but other than that, you've got to go back to the assignment to even see it. And we're not quite sure what you're going to see if it's a discussion assignment. We've got some classes that have used it for a discussion assignment. As far as we can tell, all that it's doing is automatically randomly assigning students to review, but they actually don't use the feature to actually review it, because they've never got it to work. And it just tells them who to review, and then just go on the discussion page to watch their video or something. So anyway, so you've got to click on it to come back to this page, but when you do click on it, it doesn't allow me to use the rubric, because I can't save it. And like I said, that's wherever you pull up this page, it's always been the same, and I've just kind of got by it. I haven't mentioned it before. And then the fact that the rubric is the same rubric as the teacher rubric makes no sense. So like I said, if I've missed something, apologies for all of this, but I just cannot see how this is functional. If it's like it is now, we have no desire to use it at all, which is a shame, because the idea of a peer review is a really good one. But in effect, what I'm going to have to do is create a discussion where students can see each other's work, and then an assignment following it where they will submit a peer review that only the teacher will read. Then I can separate out the, I can give them a rubric that they will use for grading, and they'll have to upload it in another assignment. So I have to get round that by using discussions and assignments, because this peer review thing, as far as I can tell, does not work. So sorry for going on, but I'm trying to be thorough, showing the whole thing. Was there anything else about this part of it? Oh yeah, there was the date thing. What happens when a student is a couple of minutes late? It doesn't assign them any reviews. So should it be repeating itself and looking for new ones? I would have assumed that as soon as a student has submitted, and they happen to be after that date, it should then go ahead and assign something for them to review. Otherwise, the teacher has to manually go in and review when it's after the date. But then they have to be looking for that, and there's no I don't think there's a mechanism to show them that. They have to be in the assignment, and they have to. Oops, okay, let's go back to it. Missed it. Okay. They've got to click on the peer reviews, and they've got to know it's there, and then if they do assign peer reviews here, it will go and reassign. Oh, now it says these two are done. That's funny. I don't know why it was said they weren't done, and now it says they are done. Yeah, but this button doesn't work either, by the way. Or it didn't earlier. So that button doesn't work, giving another submission to assess. This one seems to work, because this was the student who was later than all the others. The other students have no idea how to do. They keep sending in messages. How do I do my peer review? So it's gone to assign them, but nobody seems to know how to do it. Okay, now here's the other problem. If it's in a discussion, let's go to this one. here is a discussion assignment where they've used peer review. I've clicked on the discussion itself. There is nowhere here for peer review. The only way to get to it, which is the same way we have to get to the rubric, if we didn't have a rubric, the only way we can get to it is we have to edit the topic, then we have to cancel. No, hang on, that's not it. That's not what it, we have to show. No, we have to click on edit assignment settings. Edit assignment settings, and then we have to click on cancel. Now we see the peer reviews, but we don't want to have to train teachers to have to know all of that workaround just because there's a bug in the system that means they can't see the rubric or the peer reviews without doing that. So then as you see on here, all of these students in the class, they've never actually done a peer review through the system because nobody's ever been able to find their way to it to do it. Anyway, that's all about the peer reviews, and so I'd like a big discussion on this, please, on how to get it to work, or if we've completely missed something, then I'd like to know about it and be trained. Thank you.